Hello and welcome to Fan/Fiction with Jamie/Zach. I'm Zach Dunsing.
And I'm Jamie Bradley.
And here we go.
All right.
Also, you have to understand that, I don't have to look at Andrew when we're recording.
That's right, yeah.
So it makes a really big difference. So I might angle it this way. Oh, yeah, that helps.
There you go. Cool.
Yep. So, yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
I need constant eye contact. Okay.
Constant, perpetual eye contact. How close can we get these microphones together before the feedback becomes unbearable?
All right.
Yeah, so I think welcome, Jamie Bradley.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, we've been trying to get a little crossover episode together for a while. Now we are. I think the main reason for that is it became pretty clear to Andrew and I that you know significantly more about fan fiction than we do.
I wouldn't say I know more, but I would say that I'm a fan.
Okay, so already you have an advantage.
And when I say fan, we can unpack the many layers of that. Now?
Yeah, well,
okay.
I think we're down. Now's the time to do it.
Cool. I could write an email. You could read it. I'll go away. Yes.
Well, just real quick, how many hours a week do you spend reading fan fiction?
Oh, it depends on the week. I probably conservatively, let's say 3 hours, maybe.
Okay. That seems reasonable.
And that's a week where it's maybe I'm on a work trip. I don't have anything else to do. I'm alone.
I would say
bored.
that conservatively, I spend 3 hours a week, on just mind-numbing YouTube videos. Just a rabbit hole of I didn't realize that David Fincher used lights that way or whatever.
Wow, wait. Yeah, I'm fairly trashy. And so my sort of wind down, some people watch YouTube videos about lighting. Other people, walk a dog or take a bath. I like to read salacious blind gossip items on a website called AGC Web Pages that has not been restyled since probably 1994.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Blind gossip. So basically it'll be this podcast host was seen doing a little booger sugar at the Tony Awards. And then they'll give some other clues. And then everyone's oh, they're talking about Alan Menken. Wow. Yeah. So I love that kind of thing. And so I just need mind numbing content. And then I'm very fascinated and always have been with, I don't know, probably just early internet culture, just weird internet.
Well, that's that when we tried to do a history of internet fan fiction.
Yeah.
There are just fan fiction in general. At a certain point, it just became a history of the internet. Yeah. Because they grew up alongside together and coalesced together.
When you look at the collapse recently, I guess. I mean, it's still going
humanity?
On. Yes, there's that. But sort of the collapse of Tumblr, where it's oh, no porn on Tumblr, and
that was a tough blow for Tumblr. Because
a tough blow for JB. No, that's me.
That's you.
Yeah, no, it was.
Where are you going to get your porn now when it's not being illustrated by 9-year-olds?
Right. Well, you gotta. So going back to sort of the history of the internet, I definitely was the friend that had a computer, and so I remember burning really bad.
Napster mixes,
but burning really probably low quality gay porn for my gay friends at church, and I would write.
So you were a rebel.
I was.
You were an activist.
I was, and so I had one friend, and I would always write hymns Volume 2, and it would just be Yuri porn or whatever.
That is, I would say, let's say, wildly considerate use of porn as a teenager.
That nice? Yeah. But I also at some point discovered along the way fan fiction, and specifically like erotic fan fiction and just erotic writing on the internet. Like I remember like swapping stories on like Yahoo chat with my friends and being like, hey, this one's got a German Shepherd that licks peanut butter out of this lady's butthole. Like, check it out.
Classic.
Yeah, classic. And so obviously there's just tons of fan fiction in that, and I loved like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that stuff's just been around forever, and it's very like
literally forever is what we've discovered.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how much of it was like butthole peanut butter, but I'm sure a lot of it.
Most of it.
I'm sure Joyce at some point wrote.
I mean, he had to talk about peeing in a lady.
He did, yeah.
A lot.
I've seen some of the letters.
It's like, oh man, I want to fart on your face. Yeah.
Except obviously a lot more wordy.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't even get the smut right.
Nope. Yeah, I remember like buying a book like that thinking it was going to be like really dirty and nasty, going to Barnes and Noble with my brother and being like, I'm buying literature, but I would buy like that and like Bret Easton Ellis novels because I knew there would at least be like 2 chapters of just weird, weird vampires having sex in like a coke den. And just, I couldn't even get through it.
Yeah.
Couldn't even get through it.
No, you just get that action straight from the internet.
Straight from the net.
So do you have like, I mean, I guess for starters, do you read any non-erotic fan fiction? I know there's not as much of it out there, but
I'm just, it's just not interesting to me.
What's the point?
No, I do like, I do. I will definitely, just for laughs, like do a thing that I was doing.
But just to be clear, the erotic stuff is deadly serious.
Deadly serious. Yeah, no. I mean, like I'll just read any of it. Like I frequently will read stuff and just to send to my friend Brooks, like I literally just found one 5 minutes ago without even trying that I took a picture of, that this would be a premium piece of content.
Okay, so that's one thing that I actually really wanted to talk to you about, because you've spent more time on this than we have.
Oh yeah.
We just dipped in and we're kind of still figuring out as we go along, and you're tourists. You have to spend we are absolutely tourists. No, totally. And there's a lot to see.
Yeah,
there's a lot of destinations. And you have to really spend some time on it. So it's always like, we try to get as in-depth as we can, but it's always like, we always feel rushed. We've never done an episode where I haven't felt like we just scratched the surface here.
Right.
So like what... Go. Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I think that's how I feel anytime I'm just looking at it, period.
Yeah.
There's so much. And depending on the fandom, like we mentioned Game of Thrones earlier, like if you find one of the few fandoms, it's like Marvel movies, Game of Thrones...
which there have to easily be as many, like, just on one of the websites, like one of the aggregates, as many fan fiction stories written about it as actual like comic books.
100%. So the main ones that like I always see to the point where I've actually had to like use the AO3 filters to be like, do not mention the show Supernatural, don't mention a Marvel movie. And don't mention, there's like maybe a K-pop band called like Bangtan Boys.
I'm sure that's close. If it's not what they're called.
Right. It's fine. They'll never.
So
listen to this.
you try to get really granular with it then.
Oh yeah. So I'll like, just depending on my sort of flavor of the day, like I'll be like, I really want to see if anyone's ever written about X, and then I'll like find a tag. And then I'll go really deep and I'll like scroll on the tag until I either find something that looks, let's be honest, piques my interest in a personal way, or more often than not is just like really, really stupid. So like
stupid in a way that is unpredictable. Like that you wouldn't have assumed. Like there's so much.
So here's a perfect example. I think I hit like fandoms random or like real people. This is based on a Doritos commercial from 2013.
Awesome.
And the pairing is human Dorito, lonely fangirl, and nacho cheese.
And that, yeah.
And like the fucking thing is about a man licking and making love to a Dorito from a specific, and I'm assuming, I don't know the commercial, who the fuck would? This guy did he wrote 3 different
Specifically about this Doritos commercial.
So I would imagine it's like a wacky ass Doritos commercial. Yeah. The Dorito is a woman.
I think I know which one.
Yeah. Her name's apparently Lonely Girl. And so some dude, either super high and being really funny with his friends, though 3 of them is like that's a commitment. And like they're long and they have chapters. I mean, this one was at least like, sorry, I've surfed away to a duck hunt based the video game. Let me see if I can get back to the Dorito. Well, it's not as long as you'd think.
But it's longer than you would think as well.
It's way longer than it needs to be.
Sure. So is that? I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, it's either somebody trying to be funny, and to their credit, it is.
It is. But in the way they think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Or it's like, no, I mean, like somebody like actually wants to have a love affair with a Dorito. Because that's already the entity they're spending most of their time with. So. I
mean, this one looks.
But then why not just go full, why not just full-blown Fortnite Dorito gangbang, you know?
Right. Yeah. This one's called Cheese. And the so a lot of times I don't open them and actually read them. I'm really obsessed with.
They're like Onion articles.
Yes. So like AO3's tagging system, what people choose to tag. Like there's a lot of like teenage girls that will like, it'll be like, okay, alternate universe. And it'll be like whatever the characters are from Supernatural. And then it'll be like kissing, anal sex, like all the things. And then it'll be like IDK, I don't know, LOL. I don't know. And like those are the actual tags on the thing. And it'll be like, this one, I was like really tired and I was studying and I don't know. I just like, I hope you guys like it. And it's like,
that's the tag.
The tag. Yeah. So anyway.
It's funny to me, the ways in which people do choose to restrain themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, Cool Ranch got in the mix.
People will go as far as to like put themselves in the same, like write themselves into a story with Buffy or whatever, but then they won't make themselves Buffy's best friend. They'll still be like an observer.
Right.
And it doesn't, like you're already making the fantasy happen. Just make it the fantasy.
Is clearly about, it's like they think, it's like, what's the psychology there? Like, do they think so little of themselves that they wouldn't be able to be that part of the story? There's also the whole... And this is really distracting when you find one like this, but it's like the, let's pick a character, like Captain Marvel / Reader. Mm-hmm. So it's like they put Y-N for your name. Have you ever read one of these? I have not
come across one.
So it's like
they insert you into the story.
but the like lingo for that is just like open parentheses Y/N close parentheses. So it'll literally be like,
whoa,
I'm so turned on Y-N.
I probably have seen that before. I just didn't realize what the hell it was.
Like it took me probably a month or two before I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like, oh my God, it stands for your name.
Why is there JB in parentheses in all of these stories?
This is so weird. Then I find out you wrote all of them. No, so it's really strange. So they'll do that. And it just completely like takes you out of any, if you were sort of like, putting yourself into the narrative, it's like, that people don't, like, I'm not sitting here being like, Zach, what do you think? Like, you don't have to address people by name.
Yeah, you certainly wouldn't say it that much while you're like eating peanut butter off of their asshole.
Hey, your name, your butt is very, very
your
peanut buttery.
Your name's butt, YMB.
Right. So anyway, those are some fun things.
Yeah, that is fun. Well, this stuff, so I think you're going to agree with me pretty clearly on this, but like, you can definitely always tell when like guys or young boys and when girls or adults are right. Like, there's just clearly a difference.
Oh yeah. So, we were chatting about this a little bit before we started, but as a genre of fanfic or a fandom that has the most egregious misuse of like sexual terms and just misunderstanding is, and it feels so, it's like trite. It sounds like I made it up, but it really is the Star Wars fandom. Like, it's so very clear whenever you find one that like the person writing it has absolutely no idea how like sex or even love works. fundamental misunderstanding of like basic relationship.
If all they learned is from Star Wars.
Fucking Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean it's like it's a sexless practically. I mean,
it's a
Han Solo is kind of an asshole.
Han Solo is a horribly abusive. She tries to date her brother.
Yeah, by accident. She's very confused.
Very confused. The family dynamics are all really horrible.
Everybody has daddy issues.
Everyone has daddy issues, and like. You know, if a good writer got a hold of it, that could be kind of fun. No, but...
They just have to not be 11.
Yeah, exactly. Or, I mean, really, you know, what's sadder is, like, the writing itself. Like, the person has a mastery of language and usage and grammar, denoting that it probably is an older person.
Yeah.
So
and
then
the
it's
universe,
just like,
too. Like, a mastery of that world. That's the stuff that works, is when it's like, you know that it feels like it could something that could take place in that, like, that living, breathing world. Yeah.
The thing that I think is so funny, so, like, if... God, I'm really getting deep here.
This is the place for it.
So the Marvel is the other, like, huge one. Like, there's so many characters in that. Obviously, that's the biggest franchise, you know, that's ever was.
And ever will be.
And so, like, the Marvel ones, like, you find, like, they're just all over the map. It's like, you know, Captain America is a gigolo and, like, whatever. Like, some are good, most of them are bad, like, but it's whatever. It's just sort of like, it could be any erotic fanfic or any fanfic with just those characters sort of transcribed over them or whatever. And but Star Wars is like, the people clearly read every fucking book, every comic. They know it backwards and forwards. They like insert all the weird like curse words that are not in the movies, that are only in the novels. Like they'll be like, ooh, Criff. Criff is the one that's it's like, oh, Criff, I want to get your jodhpurs off. Like they like use like weird like antique, like I don't know, they just use weird like clothing references and stuff. They're like, she wasn't wearing panties because she was wearing her traditional breeches that one would wear on Tatooine.
That would kind of, you think that would work in their favor, that like you could just Star Wars language around all the not knowing anything about a vagina or whatever.
That is true. But then they'll like switch into like, I think this is sex.
Yeah. I think said Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. It's a lot of the new movies too. So I'm like, maybe they are younger. I don't know. But the pairings are all weird.
Would you think? Yeah. This is. I hope you don't have an answer to this question, but
terrible. I probably do.
Do you think that like obviously like Kylo Ren is a heartthrob, right?
Wowee.
I mean, he's everybody's
Look
favorite.
at that chest.
I know. He was clearly in the Marines because he fucking talks about it all the time.
Constantly.
But, so obviously, like, the younger audience, the newer audience, we'll just call them post-prequels. Post-preclennials.
Okay.
It's the new term.
I like it.
So they're obviously like going to attach to him and be attracted to him and Rey. I forget that actress's name.
Yeah.
They probably don't feel that same way about Luke and Han, right? Or Leia, because they also know them as like
old people,
decrepit, aging monsters.
You know, who are just filled with pus and wrinkles and hairs.
Vicodin.
Yeah, I guess you don't really see those as much. You know what
I'm just curious because I would imagine there was a bit of a shift at some point. Oh, yeah. You know?
Ooh, that's a good point. I mean, that is one thing that the internet is not great for on like a site like AO3, because it's just the volume of production is so high that, especially with the fandom like Star Wars, like I don't even know how I would get back to like what the first thing posted about that.
Well, yeah, and you can't even like that's also something where the tag system like totally fails because it's just like you cannot get small enough to find anything that really works.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm pulling it up now.
It's kind of the same deal with pornography.
Yeah. I mean, and at the end of the day,
you never really find what I'm looking for.
You can never find what you're looking for. But you find something.
You find something.
You find like okay, just scrolling through, there's 2 Death Becomes Her fanfics.
Great. Academy Award winning.
Probably great.
But for special effects.
They were pretty great. Is that Robert Zemeckis? Who was that?
It must be, right?
I'm vamping.
I mean, it's Steven Spielberg light, so it must be Zemeckis.
That sounds about right. All right.
Or Ron Howard.
Ooh. Oh my God, there's one about Silkwood. That's great. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing right now is what I do at my house. I'm like, oh, I should go find a specific thing. And then I'm like, oh my God, someone wrote 4 fanfics about the 1986 movie Solar Babies.
Wow, that probably...
It's probably pretty
good.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I like is to try to... That's what we were... Because it is so much and it is so overwhelming. For a while, we were just trying to find like, okay, so what's the thing that 2 people have written about? You know? Or like, what's the thing that has one story?
Yeah. The 1993 movie Stalingrad has one fan fiction. Yeah. Yeah. It's
probably good.
It's probably great. So Star Wars original trilogy, almost 7,000 entries. The prequel is 10K, and the new one is 40,000. It's just like, and that's like all the books and shit are on here too.
Yeah. I wonder how that world was affected whenever Disney bought them out and then just like made everything not canon anymore.
Yeah.
Like basically everything that had been written outside of the movies was made non-canonical.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people were pissed about that.
Yeah, I'm sure. But then it opened it up for all these other people who don't even fucking care anyway.
Yeah,
like, you know. So, little surfing tip. I'm sure you know this. If you find something, just go straight to the filters button, hit ratings, and then click explicit. It'll just sort and filter. Just take you right there.
Yeah, right where you need.
Little pro tip to the AO3 site.
I think we're just gonna outsource all the surfing on AO3 to you at this point. Hey Jamie, what are we talking about this week?
Oh man, it's like I'm doing like tech support. Just get me like a little chat bot on here. Yeah, so it's like there's also tons in different languages, and that always really like blows my mind. Like tons of Russian ones, and I'm like, seems the tags are in English, so I'm like, that seems interesting. Too bad.
Well, we talk about that all the time because there's so much of it that seems like it was literally written by like shitty artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
That we just assume like people were just taking them and Google translating them back,
that makes
back
sense.
into English or across multiple languages maybe because the syntax that is used in some of these.
But I think you overestimate just how.
I probably am.
Yeah.
I probably am.
Like that would be the right thing for you or I. But
I think you're right.
I think there's just probably a lot of people that are like, me like peanut butter on butt. I should write that down.
Yeah, that's good. You should keep that. /lightsaber.
Oh man. Oh, all of these are seeming pretty above board. I'm scrolling, trying to find just a not so good one. Anyway, Star Wars. Pretty great.
So okay, but then what's your shit? Like what's your fandom?
I just don't even. So I was telling a friend the other day, like I'm. Like, speaking of the writing, this is a good transition. If someone's a good writer and I somehow, like, stumble upon that and it's actually just well done, like, if I actually end up getting engrossed in a fan fiction in a sincere way, it's just because the person who wrote it knows what they're doing, to the point where I frequently will just have to, like, have another Google tab open being like, who is this character? Are they hot? Okay, cool. I like that.
So... Just like stuff that you're not familiar with, you'll find a writer you like, and then it's like, oh, now I'm filling in the faces. I'm
like, oh, played by Ming-Na Wen. Oh, what I love her. She was great in the ER. Yeah, she probably looked pretty good in this outfit you've described. Yeah. So I do that a lot. There was one woman, I can't remember her name. That'd be really actually kind of troubling if I could, but she was just a really good writer that wrote a 23 chapter Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show thing that I thought it was going to be hilarious, and then like 2 in, I was like, well, fuck, now I really kind of want to know what's going to happen to these people and their sexy adventure.
Well, that's
and it had a love story. Like, I genuinely got, like, engrossed in it as if it was, like, a romance novel or something.
I mean,
and it blew my mind.
That's what's so much more baffling than all the garbage is the really good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, this is what this show is about.
Yeah.
This is what, like, Andrew and I are scratching our heads over all the time because it's just like, like, what?
Why would you pick this?
Why would you write?
Why wouldn't you just write like an original character? Yeah. But also, if Susie Jompkins 84 wrote about Susie Jompkins and the pool boy, I'm probably never going to find that and read it.
I know. I mean, there's no buy-in. I mean, it's just fascinating. Like, I guess which people get to transcend that and which people don't. That's what's
true.
Interesting
to
me. That's what we still can't figure out.
James Joyce peeing in somebody.
I know. If that motherfucker.
Thank you. So cool. Yeah.
And just that you would write, 500,000 words
like chapters
over the course of decades.
Yeah.
Not even about X-Men, about like the new X-Men.
Yeah.
Like specifically Michael Fassbender.
Right. Oh, so yeah, there is a deep, deep well of X-Men fanfic. And you would think and I remember sort of happening upon it being like, oh yeah, I liked the comics. I liked the animated series when I was a kid. It wasn't like my brother really liked the X-Men. So I was like, yeah, Gambit's hot. I bet there's tons of Gambit and Rogue. Classic pairing.
Just the most silky smooth accents mixing together.
Super sexy Southern alliterative. Great stuff there. Nothing. And also it's oh, what a cool character. She touches people and absorbs her powers and what a challenging I bet that would be erotic.
If they come, does she absorb that too?
Right. Where's it going to go? Does it shoot right back out as a playing card and cut his face off? I don't know.
Explode.
Right. And he's like, oh, Cherie. Yeah, I don't know. I want to know that. I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's all... And I have a distinct recollection of one that I found that was Modern AU, which means Modern Alternate Universe.
That much we do know.
As I'm sure you know, which is one of my favorite things because it's even more baffling that they were like, you know what? We really like these characters. I'm going to spend all my fucking time writing about this. Also, I wish they were coal miners.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Also, their names are slightly different, and the coal miners and they don't have any powers.
Yeah,
but they still fuck.
Yeah, they totally fuck. They're gay, which they're not in the comics at all. So they're gay now. They're coal miners. They don't have powers. Also, they're in a weird time period where if they were gay, they would probably immediately have been murdered.
Right. Yeah.
Just out in the open, just panning for gold, sucking each other's dicks. And you're
panning for gold. Panning for gold.
How is this happening?
Do you think that there's because here's the deal. Sir Ian McKellen is hot.
Yeah.
So do you think that and Patrick Stewart is a fucking gorgeous. He's a national treasure.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think that because Sir Ian McKellen's already gay, there's no fun. There's no fun and
So I can tell you that when they do write about this is fascinating. Mm-hmm. So when they do write about that Magneto, it's often it's clearly a woman and it's clearly some sort of May December sort of daddy fantasy thing.
Okay.
And it'll be Jubilee and Eric Lyncher.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. So it's they don't even do that correctly. It's man, you've got a built-in muse right there. Yeah. So it's very interesting. And the thing that's fascinating too are they all I don't know if it's one person makes this bizarre decision and then everyone's well, I liked those people together, but I didn't like the way they did it. And then it just gets multiplied by 10,000 people.
That's when the headcanon changes?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Ooh, well, so... no, it's not headcanon. It's a different thing. There's another type of canon, which is when a fairly large group is attached to one specific thing. It's the same thing with the shipping wars. One group will be attached to shipping two people.
Harry and Louis from One Direction are definitely a couple.
Oh yeah. But then there's also this other thing that is absurd to me. Yeah, let's do it at the same time.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
This is a big hot minute thing. Love a drink.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Tecate.
At least my bloodstream's sponsored by it. So there's another thing that's called headcanon that's just like how you perceive things in your head that no one else knows about. like the example I think Andrew used is that like a lot of people when they're reading the Harry Potter books will just like assume Hermione's black because they like,
right.
They like to picture it that way.
Or they don't, and then they get really mad when J.K. Rowling's like, psych.
Yeah.
Casting a London because that happened, right? Like they cast the London production of the play where they're all aged up, and she cast that character as an African American woman.
Know that, actually.
And fans got like pissed. They got really mad,
weird.
and then she was like, she was like, in the book I said she had black hair. Like I never say she's a white person. Of course, now J.K. Rowling's like,
she's kind of off the rails.
Oh, I love that. Love that shit.
She's like, because she's just writing fan fiction of her own of the most popular fiction in the world. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, all the tweets like that becoming a meme has been so good. Where it's like, don't sit down there. That's where Dumbledore ejaculated or whatever. It's like, anyway, yeah.
Okay, so I think we've talked about plenty of ejaculate already.
I got more in me. Oh, I don't. That was an accident.
That's what he said.
Y/N.
So.
Yes.
I wanted to steal something. Since this is a crossover episode,
yes.
I wanted to steal something from your show, Hot Minute.
Yep.
Which is fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have a segment on the show called Bag of Hotties.
We do, yeah. So on Hot Minute, HOTT Minute, we talk about who's hot and why. And that's it. That's the whole concept. And yeah, we just tear up little strips of paper. Or actually, our producer, Michael, does it.
That's right.
I should have told you you had that option. And we put them in an old lunch bag.
I still don't know how to utilize Michael properly. You guys have it figured out.
I got a beer. It's great. So we put them in the bag, shake them all around, and then you don't know what you're gonna get.
So
what was your vision? What's the F? The F. What's the F?
What's the F?
Fiction.
No. So we got the bag of random fandoms.
I love it.
What I have in there is like a handful of things. It's okay. It's as random as I could come up with on my lunch break. But,
that's good enough for me.
Some of it's like stuff. Some of it's random. Okay. Some of it's stuff that's kind of in my orbit, and some of it's stuff that I just assumed you would like.
Okay.
So we'll see. We'll see. We'll find out.
I'll be very honest and have opinions about everything.
You pull one, I'll pull one, and then we'll cross over the two ideas. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
We'll figure out who's compatible.
Who would date? Yeah. I like it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep mine. I'll let you know. I think it said Paul Bunyan for a second. I got really excited.
Also, zero chance I'm going to be surprised here because I wrote all of them.
I know. It's kind of not fun.
But this is good. Who you got?
I got Pan's Labyrinth.
I don't even remember writing that. Okay. Maybe it's a fan fiction miracle. I got The Simpsons.
Oh, shit. So you got something with literally hundreds of thousands of characters, and I got something where I can remember exactly one, the hand guy.
Not even Pan or the main girl. Not even the fawn.
Yeah. No, I forgot they existed. Or Guillermo del Toro. We can slap him on like Marge or something.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, Guillermo del Toro,
he's just so affable. Maybe him and like. If we wanted to do... I think he's like a pretty happy guy.
I think he is. And I think that's also maybe why his movies aren't very good. That's a hot take on Guillermo del Toro.
Hot take.
I don't think his movies are very good.
I can't even think of, besides Pan's Labyrinth, what's his other shit? It's like all fantasy.
It is. And it's all like... I think that
it's trying to be really heady, but it's not.
I think he works... I mean, I think he's a very good designer... But he also works with this guy named Wayne Barlow, who does most of the production design, who's an incredible painter.
So the actual cool parts of that are probably not him.
Other than being friends with those other two really successful Hispanic directors, I don't know what he.
And boy, are they
doing.
fucking friends. They look like they're having a blast.
Three amigos.
Three.
Oh boy.
So as far as like character mashups, yeah, it's got to be Hand Guy just sort of going around rubbing on like Mr. Burns and like. I don't know.
No, I could see Mr. Burns and Hand Guy hanging out together.
Mr. Burns as the alien that's like, I come in peace, and Hand Guy could. Yeah, they could get it together. Done. Love that. That's great. Way to go. Let's do another.
We're just gonna do all of them.
Oh yeah, no.
We're gonna be here till 6 a.m.
That's fine. Okay, I'm good. Oh God, they're sticky. They're sticky because
they're Post-its.
They're Post-its.
And I had to fold them up in a way that they wouldn't stick to one another.
Okay. You thought it through. Also, okay. Captain Marvel, a film I haven't seen yet.
Okay, cool. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. Elaine, parentheses, Seinfeld.
Oh, so what I imagine is probably a slightly lesbian-ish Brie Larson.
Sure.
Just lighten up Elaine.
So Brie Larson.
Just regular-ass Brie Larson.
Brie Larson.
Tessa Thompson's in it, who is her friend. Isn't she? Did I make that up?
So I think it's somebody else. I don't know.
Edit that out. I have not seen the movie.
Sure.
Oh, fuck.
Wait, isn't Tessa Thompson in another?
Hold on.
Isn't Tessa Thompson in Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, she is. She's Valkyrie. Fuck.
Yeah.
Who's in Captain Marvel?
I didn't recognize the name whenever I looked it up.
Oh, sorry. I'm confused because Tessa Thompson's going to be in Endgame, which she's been in the news a lot lately, and she did something sassy.
Did you? I'm a big fan of Tessa Thompson, by the way.
Let's just talk about her for the rest of the thing.
Okay, that's who I'm crushing on.
She fly. Mm-hmm. She fly as hell. Okay, well, yeah, this is great. So Captain Marvel is an extraterrestrial Kree warrior.
So you know this bit isn't where you just read a summary of whatever you pull out of the bag, right?
I got nothing.
Sure.
I literally don't know who else is in the movie.
It doesn't matter. We're moving forward.
William Hurt? I don't know.
William Hurt. No, close. Yeah, no.
Seems like somebody that'd be in that.
Sam Jackson's in it.
Oh.
Always delivers.
Same. Okay. The Wire.
I don't know why I put this in there, but it's just Shazam, which I don't even think is out yet.
It's not out yet.
Any thoughts on Shazam?
It's going to exist.
It's going to be out there, yeah.
I'll eventually see it. Honestly, my brother wasn't into Shazam, so I don't really know much about
I don't either.
I also am going to admit,
you've never seen The Wire?
I've never seen The Wire.
Holy shit, I just rewatched all of it.
I'm going to.
Which I shouldn't have admitted either.
No, I actually was just reading an article about I did the thing where I was like, when it was airing, I was like, it's probably going to get shitty, so I'm not going to watch it. And then it's like the best show ever made.
It's the only show that doesn't get shitty.
Yeah, so was reading an article about it the other day, and I added it to my queue.
But it's great too to watch now because you can play that game where you're like, oh, I know you became this and you did this and now you guys you did this.
Exactly.
But there's also so many super talented character actors in that show where you're like, you haven't done anything since this. This is crazy.
This is sad. What's main dude's name?
Idris Elba?
Not Idris Elba, but the British guy who's not British in it. Well,
basically everybody in that show is British. At least half of them. I don't remember his name.
Okay, cool. This is going great.
It's awesome. Really solid bit we got here. Okay. I don't remember the actor's name because I only know him as McNulty from that show.
My friend made out with him. That was my story.
How long ago?
I think he was on The Wire at the time. Right, they were having a party, and she was in New York, and touched her over her tights.
Nice.
Way to go.
Good on her.
That's all I got.
Okay.
That's all I got. So him and my friend.
Cool. Are they still together? Are they okay?
Yeah, they've been. Yeah. They got divorced. Ooh. Okay.
Okay, I think maybe you got something for this.
All right. Commander William T. Riker.
Ooh. Okay, I knew you'd be into that.
Yeah.
Huge fan. He's the best captain, right? I mean, Data's always the best, but he's the most. Anyways, Riverdale.
Ooh. Okay. So Riverdale, so I have to tell you something.
Okay.
Riverdale has become like sad smut to me because of Luke Perry's death.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's partially why that's in there. Is
I
to
know. To really celebrate his life.
To celebrate his life.
Me rubbing one out to the dads from Riverdale fucking while Captain... William T. Riker, yeah. Riker is... he's just hot. Like
he is. He's the only person that knows how to sit in a chair the way that he sits in a chair.
He knows how to sit in a chair. So the two of them hooking up, or the two of them. I'm sorry, is it dead Luke Perry?
Dead Luke Perry and William T. Wright, Jonathan Frakes.
And Jonathan Frakes. Yeah, I'd watch them fuck.
I would also watch them fuck.
So the thing about Riverdale I love is so much fanfic about Riverdale. So very much. Most of it horrible. It falls into the genre though of like kind of adorably bad like teen smut where it's like clearly written by like pubescent girls who are just like swooning over these characters. And so it's like a really funny lens into like, I don't know, like what they're... I feel like people will write books later about like how girls oriented themselves to like all these teen show. So you should get on
based
that.
on there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you think I should write that book?
Yeah, you should write that.
All right.
About teen girl sexuality.
Got it.
But yeah, no, it's great because it's just many layers of like how these people are like falling in love and like it's not really like totally erotic. They're all based in like we love each other and like we have a history and da-da-da. So
like that overwhelming idea you have about sex and love when you're at that age where you've clearly not had enough
like horrible sexual encounter.
You clearly haven't realized how disappointing it all is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of just like pining and swooning and it's very like kind of sweet and adorable.
Which is sort of the opposite of the raw sexual magnetism of Jonathan Frakes.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, and Riker versus Data, that's a hard one. Depends on the episode, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think Data's always... I think he's consistently a perfect captain, but Riker's really got the charisma and he's just he's an edgier captain.
He's a true leader.
Yeah. In the bedroom.
So, dead Luke Perry. That's terrible.
That was a hard one.
All right. Okay. Ooh. Many layers to this one. Many opinions.
Go ahead.
Batman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, my favorite character of all time, basically.
Oh shit. Okay.
No, go ahead.
No. I like Batman a lot. I'm so scared.
No, it's fine. So I put Mr. Robot in there, right? Because I thought maybe you would have something to say about it. But then I also put this in there, hoping they would come out at the same time.
Okay.
Can you read it to the audience?
Mr. Roboto sticks.
Yeah.
So is this the character, the song? Like,
I think it's interpretive. Okay. I thought maybe the song, like
if the song was like an anthropomorphized version of like
if the supercomputer in the Batcave, he was listening to Styx while he's tuning up the Batmobile. Something happens.
It's like really muffled, and all of a sudden there's like.
And then there's all sorts of like mutagens in his place because everybody he works with has mutagens.
Exactly.
Fights. They don't work together. He fights them.
I'm definitely they're not like they're not at WeWork. Excuse me. Yeah, I picture like some sort of like genie from Aladdin sort of gas with like a hand that's like. Hello, Batman, but it's Mr. Roboto, the sexy song.
The sexy song. There's probably some Poison Ivy shit in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she could will that to happen.
Yeah. So it's part plant, too.
Yeah.
It's half plant, half Styx.
The band.
Which
is one of the sexiest bands. So when you think of Batman, who's your Batman? Who's your...
Oh, Kevin Conroy.
Okay.
You know who that is?
No, I mean, sorry, I meant like, sorry, I should take it back. Actor. Like, who's Kevin Conroy? Is that the animated series?
He's the animated series Batman, yeah.
So, sorry, I like totally showed I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just I think... Is it Michael Keaton or not? Fuck you.
I think.
So you're a Mark Hamill Joker guy. I know that.
100% a Mark Hamill Joker guy. He's the best.
Eileen Sorkin, is that what's her name? Who plays Harley Quinn?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I used to know a bunch of like Ron Perlman's all over that show.
Gotcha.
The fucking roboticist from Blade Runner's in that show as a roboticist.
Of course.
Biff from Back to the Future plays the guy who kills Robin's parents. Like there's incredible actors all over that show. But I don't remember who Harley Quinn is.
I watched
which is phenomenal.
So the reason I bring that up is because you brought up William T. Riker.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Frakes is married to a soap actress named Jeannie Francis.
Don't know her.
And the chick that voices Harley Quinn in the animated series was a couple in Days of Our Lives with the guy that plays Q. In Star Trek.
Talk about
so it's all really connected.
Individual. The weirdo who plays Q.
Eugene something. Yeah. I mean, I think he's kind of hot. So anyway,
he's hot as Q.
Yeah, Batman and Mr. Roboto getting it on. I love that pairing.
Batman has to do the weirdest lay.
Oh my God.
Probably terrible.
Absolutely terrible. I've looked up Batman erotic fan fiction. Horrible. It's all very, very moody.
Oh, I'm sure.
The pairings are awful. You want to read some fucked up shit? Y'all out there?
No.
y'all out there, you don't want to get real, Zach. Cover your ears.
Hang on, I'm going to go in the other room while you ruin my hero.
No, I was going to say the people who write Harley Quinn and Joker fanfic,
Ooh.
You best believe that
stuff.
Turn around, don't drown.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, that's got to be brutal.
It's literally brutal. It's absolutely terrible.
Well, somebody was Andrew's sister was telling us about a whole subsection of fan fiction that's all just the experiments that Hydra did on the Winter Soldier. Like it's all just stories about stuff that they,
right.
It's
just torture porn. Yeah. There's lots of, so one of the, probably I would say arguably the most famous pairing on AO3 that I see constantly is Bucky Barnes and Steve Rogers.
Yeah, no, totally.
And there's so when you picture that, you're like, okay, cool. Sebastian Stan, he's like buff, and Chris Evans, he's like really buff, and they're just doing like buff gay stuff. Just buff gay stuff, you know?
Sure, that's all.
There's so, to that end, there's so much just that pairing with, I guess, before Captain America gets all buff and he's really scrawny.
Yeah, when he has polio?
Yes. There is
You mean polio porn?
Yes. Yes, there's literally tons of erotic, because I took me so it's your name, it took me a while to figure out what the fuck are they talking about. So they'd say pre-injection captain in the tag.
You thought that was a sex thing.
So I thought it was Viagra.
Oh, you mean before?
Is this a Vax porn?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was like, oh my God, no, they're talking about his polio.
Whoa.
Captain America getting because they cast him as
super serum.
Yeah, super serum.
Which incidentally is what the Winter Soldier calls his semen.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really interesting. So it took me a long time. I realized that recently. I was like, what is this tag? What does this even mean? And I was like, oh my God, they're writing about his withered body as a sexy thing.
Bananas.
It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
So what?
Oh God. Almost dropped my beer. I guess got so blown away by that.
I mean, the impulses are endless. The type of things that people want to explore in that way just are endless.
Well, and that's a good example of what we were talking, I guess, the head canon, where it's just one person had to have come up with, been brave enough to be you know what, I'm going to cast pre-serum polio Captain America as a sexy twink.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a bunch of people were like, fuck yeah, I've been waiting. Thank you.
That's what we
Angie
always...
16.
That was what we always say whenever we're I asked somebody, what was there anything out there that they hadn't come across that they would like to read at some point, but you kind of just don't know it until you see it.
Yeah.
You're I didn't know I wanted this, or was at least interested in reading this until it was laid before me.
Right.
Because it's so fucking bananas.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been an example. Actually, I can't think of something, but it sounds really bad, so I'm just not going to say it. No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it.
Just going to leave the whole audience hanging.
Leave them hanging. Hey, tweet at us. Guess what weird shit I couldn't find? And it was not polio related. Wait, okay. Let's do one more,
and then we can wrap it up.
I'm digging around in that bag.
For a minute.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on, I'm doing a different one.
I didn't like my first one either.
You get one.
Okay.
You can throw back. Oh man. Full circle.
Can I go first?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure why I included this. It just says bees. The insect.
That's perfect because we're bringing it back to Dead Luke Perry. So like we could do like a My Girl thing. Like,
yeah. Yeah, right. So that's presumably how Luke Perry died. Because the bees, and then you lost your wet dream.
He was fucking a beehive.
Well, yeah.
At the Riverdale soda shop, there was a murder, and then a bunch of bees came. Literally. That's it.
That's as good a place as anywhere to stop, I think.
All right, well.
Good night, Jamie.
Good night, Zach. Thing I was going to say that I like tried to find. So growing up, my grandma, I remember like finding all these, Western novels in her house, and it's like everyone's like mom and grandma read like some sort of romance novel, but she'd be like, no, they're stories about America.
Yeah, right.
And then I would like read them and be like, this is just like an Indian dude like kidnapping a lady, and I was like, surely that genre is like still alive. Ooh. So I was gonna try to explain that, and I was like, there's no good way for me to talk about this. It's not. It's not
okay. Yeah,
it's not okay. But I was like actually really proud. of the internet.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
either.
Wow. I couldn't find it.
Well, that's cool.
Like I found like really respectful, like non-erotic fan fiction about just like Native American settlers.
About the American West.
Like, yeah,
cool. That's shocking.
I was so shocked because I was like, I'm gonna see if I can find this.
Well, then where do you think that stuff lives then?
Exactly,
because it exists 100%.
Well, I think that's.
I mean, other than in our hearts and minds,
right? In our loins.
Hearts and minds and loins.
On the prairie. Yeah, I think that's probably still just like, some woman named like Anne Jenkins is still just putting out paperback novels that
you can know that they go immediately into a Goodwill. Like they never land on a non-secondhand shelf.
Just ship them. Yeah. What are you doing? I'm just ripping the pages.
Just ripping the pages.
I'm
just arbitrarily stamping prices on them.
Just water damage all over these. Yeah.